Hello all, welcome to my channel. Let's continue with this C Sharp interview series. From today, we will be starting with OOPS concepts in C Sharp. So, if anybody is coming to my channel for the first time, please subscribe and do check out my previous videos as well. So, let's start with OOPS concepts. So, basically, we have seen with classes and objects in our previous videos as well. So, classes and objects are the building blocks of any object oriented programming languages. So, class is a blueprint, and an object is basically a block of memory that has been allocated, and it is an instance of that class. So, from a class, numerous objects can be created. So, this is about classes and objects. So, you will be getting more insights on this once we advance in our class. So basically, what a class can contain. So these are all the members a class can contain: fields, methods, constructors, and so on. We'll be looking into this one by one. So let me show you with an example. So here now I am defining a class called teacher. So this is the basic skeleton of a class. So we start with the keyword class and the name of the class. You can give any of the name that you wanted. And this public is called access modifier. So access modifier is nothing but it is the visibility of that class. I mean, you can access this class everywhere inside this application. So here I gave public, so it can be it is accessible everywhere inside this application. So we will be looking into access modifiers in detail in the coming classes. So for now, just understand here this is an access modifier and this defines the visibility of this class. And this part is basically the syntax that is referring to the class. So this is the basic skeleton of a class, and inside class we can have different kinds of members that defines the features of a teacher. So for now, first we will start with the fields. So members of a class are different kinds. So we will start with fields. So basically fields are nothing but these are variables of any type. For example, now I will define two variables called name and id. So here these are the variables. These are actually called fields. These two things are called fields. And as I said, fields are nothing but these are variables of any type. Your name is of type string and id is of type int. And as I said, this public is again a access modifier only. It can be given for a class and as well as fields, and every member within a class can have access modifier. So this is also the visibility of that field. So as I said, we will be going into details of this access modifier in the coming classes. So this is called field and this is access modifier, and this part is called properties. So properties is also member of a class only, and this has a separate section itself. So just for not try to understand, this is called property. And basically this property is used to get and set the values of these fields. So this is about the basic introduction of the fields. So as I said, fields are nothing but normal variables of any type. And here I can declare for now. So this is the class, and now I'll create an object for this class. So I am creating an object called, okay, let me. So now each teacher will have name, here these fields. So each teacher will have the fields that we have declared here. So the teacher has a name and the teacher will have ID as well. So now I am defining another teacher. So see, if you see here, each teacher has the fields that are that I have declared here. So now I can make this fields static as well. So this is a static keyword. So what does static mean? See, when I gave here static, here you can see error here. So basically static is static fields are nothing but these are not defined at object level. So all the objects will be having same value only, and these are defined at class level. For example, if you see, all the teachers belong to the same class, right? So here we can, instead of, so we can access static variables using the class name. Okay, so actually we can just define static variables or static fields using the class name. So here earlier I accessed this name and ID using object, if you see here. So and now I am accessing this name using class name. So this is the difference of the difference between an instance. So the non-static fields are called instance fields. Instance is nothing but object only, so we are able to access, or those are object level fields, so we call them as instance fields or instance members as well. And this is static field. So since we are accessing it at class level, and static fields are declared using static keyword. And we can no so now we are actually talking about fields only. So this field can have access modifier, a static keyword, properties, and we can mark this fields as read only as well. So read only is nothing but you can only read, you cannot actually is not valid. Here I give set, right? If you see, okay, as I said, I can mark this field as read only as well. So read only is, if you have to initialize that value. So here if I declare it read only, it's nothing but I can only read that value. I cannot set change that value once after I declare. So if I give read only, I can give this value during initialization, or I can give this value inside this properties or constructors as well, that we will see. What is constructor and property, we will be seeing in detail. And we can make this fields required as well, but actually required keyword supports only from C sharp 11, and after that older versions doesn't support this. So required is nothing but whenever you create an object, you have to give this value. So this is about fields. So basically I hope you got now this field is nothing but a normal variable of any type, and a field can contain optional modifiers, and it can contain properties as well, and you can make a field static or non-static as well, and you can make a field read only or required as well. So now let's start with the another members of a class, that is methods.
So now the next member of the class is method. Method is similar to the functions that we see in all other programming languages only. So here I have written a method. If you see here, this is the access modifier. As I said, it is the same access modifier which we have seen in fields. And this is the return type, and this return type can be any return type based on your requirement, and it can be void if it is if no return type is required. And this is the name of the method. You can give any name based on your requirement, and inside this you can give parameters if needed, or else you can omit also. And I think this, so this is basic only. I hope everybody knows this. And here we are returning list. So this is the method syntax in C sharp. And here we earlier we have seen usage of static and abstract static and read only, these kind of keywords that we used with the fields. So similar to that, we can use few more keywords like override or virtual or abstract or sealed. So any of we cannot use all of them together. We can use any of the one keyword. So here let me put it here. So now if I give override, so yeah, so I can use any of the 4 keywords along with this method. So actually this override, all this comes into override, virtual, abstract and sealed. These keywords comes into picture when we try to inherit this class. So basically inheritance is a different concept only, and that also we will be saying in detail once we come into the concept called polymorphism. So for now I'll just give the gist. So I am creating one more class called person, and I am inheriting teacher. So basically I think this should be reversed. Okay, so here I am creating one class called person. So here every person will be having name, so I can give this name here, and I can inherit this person. What does this mean is, so let me declare this first. So here what does that mean is, whichever properties or members this person class is having, this properties will be given to teacher as well. So it's like inheriting property. All the property of parent will be given to his son or daughter, right? So the same way here, what all members this class person has will be inherited by this teacher. So here now this teacher can be having name as well. See, I can give name as well to this teacher. So this is what inheritance means. Now here the keywords that I told you earlier comes into picture when we are working with inheritance. So now if I define a method here CSE department I gave, and save method here I am giving, but here I am telling virtual. So here virtual keyword is nothing but if when any inheritance is performed, and if same kind of method is used in its child class also, then we can, here we are giving override. That is nothing but here we are overriding similar virtual method present in its parent class. So basically virtual and override are used together when we can override any virtual method. So this is about override and virtual. Abstract and sealed is nothing but if you declare any class as, if you declare any method as abstract. So now I am defining this as abstract. So that means an abstract method will not be having implementation. If I declare any method as abstract, then I have to declare its class also as abstract. Okay, so now what does that mean is, if I declare any class or method as abstract, it will not have implementation, and what I am telling is this method has to be implemented in its inherited class. Now teacher is inherited from person, right? So here we have to implement this CSE department. If I remove this method, here you can see it shows me error, teacher does not implement inherited abstract member. So this is about abstract. So if I tell sealed, what does sealed means? So if I, sorry, okay, so what does sealed means is, let me have your virtual method. So if I give sealed, what does that mean is I cannot further override this method. Now if I give one more class called student which inherits teacher. So this is the final implementation for this CSE department. We cannot further override this. So if I try to, Okay, here I gave sealed override, right? So now if I give here override, it will not allow me to override that sealed method. If you see, cannot override inherited member because it is sealed. So this is about this keyword. Basically my intention here is to talk about methods and all the to highlight the important keywords that are used with methods. So we will be looking in detail about this inheritance, overriding and all in the next in the coming classes, but for now try to understand. With methods we will be using keywords like override, sealed, abstract, virtual, and there's one more keyword called new, but that is optional only. So these are the important keywords that we use with methods in C sharp, and rest all is same only. If you wanted to call this okay, let me keep teacher only and remove all the other classes. Okay, so now if I wanted to call this method, I can call it with object itself, c1.csv method, CSE department. So this is normal way only how we call functions in other programming languages. It is the same way. And here if there are any arguments, we call them formal, and so here these arguments, if there are any arguments here, those should be compatible. So I think everything is common only. So if you see here I gave int, so here I am passing integer, so here parameters should be compatible. So here we can pass variables by value or by reference. Here it is passing by value, so now when I pass 2, here 2 is copied to I. So this is for example, here I will declare it separately, and I am passing a here. So this is passed by value, so this value gets copied here directly. So I can do I can pass by reference as well. So now if I directly pass T1, and here I'll just use teacher. So this is reference type. I mean actually here it is passed by value only, but since we are passing reference type, here the memory address will be passed. So whenever as I told you in the first class itself, when a reference when memory address is passed, here when we try to manipulate directly, the object that is placed in that memory will be updated. So here if I try to update, so here teacher t1 dot id equal to 1, and here I dot id equal to 2. So here let us try to console these values. So it will be updated basically. Actually I expect you guys to know this as well, because this is basic concept only. So now if I run this and see, you will be noticing the difference that the value gets updated here. So if you see here, before it was 1 and later it is 2, so the updated value is printed here. So this is about a value by reference. So basically memory address will be passed, so whenever we manipulate this value, it gets reflected in the caller also, not just within this scope. This gets updated here also. So this is about pass by reference. So here there are some more keywords that we use with methods when calling. Keywords like in, out, ref, params, and we can give default parameters as well. So we'll be seeing this. It is not int, it is in. And the other one is ref read only. So we will be talking about this now. So basically first I'll start with out. So if it is nothing but, let me put this in our file. Okay, so here now I'll be talking about out. Out is nothing but, here instead of specifying return type, here I'll give void, and here I'll give out int I. I'll not return anything, but I'll update here I equal to 10. So here give 5. Sorry, here I am giving out A. No, I have to give the same. Okay, here I am calling, here I am giving out int I. There is no need to initialize this out parameter beforehand, and here I can so it is nothing but, here instead of returning using return type, we can just use an out keyword while passing only. So this value is accessible here as well as here. So basic, you have to initialize it. So the value that is given here finally is the, I mean inside this method is the final value. So this is about out. Let me run and show you. See here 10 is printed. So if there's no need to initialize it before, but for now let me show you, initialize and show you. So here I initialized it to 5 and I passed it to this method with out keyword, and inside this method I updated this value. So if you see, so it's still 10. So the out is nothing but it is output parameter. So whichever value you give inside this method is the final value to this output parameter. So this is about the out keyword, and next is ref. So ref is nothing but when we pass this values by value, it gets only updated, I mean it gets only reflected inside this method. This thing will not be reflected in the caller. So when you use ref, it would be reflected here also. So now let me show you here. See here still 10 is updated. So basically out is nothing but it is the output parameter. Instead of returning the value from the method, we just pass a parameter as out and use that value only as the returned value. And ref is nothing but we are giving access to this value inside this method, and when you change this value inside this method, the changes will be reflected here also. So ref is nothing but it is a pass by reference, and other modify that value, it's only for reading. If I give here in, if you see when I try to modify this value, it's giving me, I cannot assign to variable I or use it because it is a read only variable. So this is about in, and so ref read only also has the similar kind of functionality. So now let us talk about params keyword. So params is nothing but you can pass list of integers. So here I am telling params in list of integers. So here I can call with as many number of integers as I wanted. So when I give this way, it converts all these parameters into a list using params keyword. So basically this is like dynamic parameters. I can give how many parameters as I wanted. So this should be the last parameter, and I can, this is about params, and I can even give default values also for few parameters, like I can give optional parameters also. So if I give int a equal to 10 and if I don't pass it here, it works. If I give any other value, it will take that value. If I don't give any value, it will take the default value 1. So this is about default parameters. So basically, as I told, my intention here is I wanted to just cover all the keywords that are used along with the regular methods. And methods can be nested as well. See here, inside I have inside CSC department, I defined another method called CSC. So these are called local functions, and for this we will not give any access modifier. It is private by default. So this is about local function. So this function is only specific to this method. So we can create local functions inside members of the class, like methods and properties. We can create local functions wherever needed according to our requirement. And there are one more kind of functions called lambda expressions, or we call them as anonymous function as well. We have seen lambda expressions when we are using LINQ, right? So it's nothing but we can just, lambda expressions are like this. So it is just it is the input that we are, it is just a single line function. We pass the input here, and whichever functionality this function has is given, is written its right side. So this is lambda expression, or these are called anonymous methods as well. So now we have seen about methods, and we have seen keywords that are used with methods, and we have seen local functions and anonymous methods as well, which are called lambda expressions. So this is about members, fields and methods. So we will be looking into the other concepts in the next classes. So thanks for watching. Please do subscribe and like my videos. Thank you. Stay with me.